back to Purple Collar Life. In today's video, we're going to do some exploring. If you watch other channels from the western Pennsylvania area, like Outdoors with the Morgans and Hometown Acres, you saw we've had some bad windstorms the last few weeks. And I can see, just looking through the woods, several trees at an angle that were blown over in that windstorm. So I'm going to go up the path here and then we'll go explore that area. I'm just waiting on the Deere crossing here in front of us. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 that need to cross. One's hanging out in the back there. Okay. We've had wind damage in here before. We've got several trees down in the same area. It gets a little swampy in here. And my guess is that big one we're looking at right there, a little ways out from us, I'm guessing it's the roots and everything. Yeah, we've got this one right directly in front of us. That's an old tree that's been dead for a while. Remnants of more oil and gas. You can see right there's a barrel, right there's that cement pad. Some old bottles I've already moved around. Let's go check out this tree. You can see this area that I'm walking in now, how it's pretty wet, muddy. That's why there's nothing really growing in here. There's so many springs. Yep, just like I suspected. That big tree is a nice oak. And it was the roots that came up with it right here. And what happened is the wind came through and ripped the roots right up out of the ground. So let's take a closer look at that. You can see we've got some water land down in there. That's how wet it is. And then you can see the trees actually split here at the bottom. But it is really hung up. I don't think that'll be coming down anytime soon. Lots of wind-blown trees. Everything you see at these weird angles, that's stuff that has come down in the wind. And you can see we've had trees in the past that have come down in this same area because it lays so wet. So this was actually a tree that looks like it had a property line marker on it at one time before we bought this land. Right about where I am, it was the property line. You can see a marked tree there. Some more pink flag as you look through the woods right there. This tree that we're looking at right here, if we look up, you can see it's missing the top. The top's laying right there. That came out of it in the wind. Let's get back on the four-wheeler and we'll take a drive through a little deeper into the woods. Some more trees down on the path. over that crab apple along with it. That's a bunch of flat tires waiting to happen anyway, so I'll cut that with the chainsaw. This cherry's worrying me. It is leaning right over our head. We're not going to sit here still. Guess is we're going to need 4-wheel drive for this little adventure, so do that in advance of getting stuck. You can see a big old tree that fell down right there. Actually, I think if we went back a couple years, I stood by the base of that big tree to show how huge it was. We could go back in the videos probably and find that, but I bet it was 2 years ago. In springtime like this, you can really see all that glass. See it all laying right in there. It's a little chilly out. I put up my hood. There's another old gas and oil well sitting back there. You can see the pipe goes to that old barrel or drum. Well, all of our paths for the four-wheeler to cross the creek are either blocked by trees or washed away. So we'll just go by foot across here in one of the shallower spots of the creek right here. You can see some deer tracks. This is where also they like to cross. There's the start of the skunk cabbage coming up. And here's that big tree that came down. You can see it was a good sized tree, but probably long overdue to come down. The base is huge. And look at the inside of it there. Here's another really big tree. You can see that when the creek gets high, it actually fills all this area. Another really big tree right there. Nice bed of rocks there. And the top of a tree that came down. Another tree top back here. It'd also be a good time of the year to find some sheds here from the buck. They would have lost their horns, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on the ground for that. There's a tree that came down, and then look at that curve to that oak. Tree growing right up in the middle of it, nice and straight. But I'll show you one of my worries with all the oil and gas remnants in our area here. Right here, big hole, and that is deep. I've seen that before as I've been walking and marked it with a stick. You can actually see, looks like some oil on top of it. I'm always worried that in the winter time someone will not see that or not pay attention and fall in. I've talked in previous videos about how hard it is to have four-wheeler and tractor paths through our woods. It's because we have so many springs and several sections of creeks or streams that pass through all the land. It'd be like Pittsburgh is the city of bridges. Our Purple Collar Life trail system would have to be the trail system of bridges all through the woods. But it is nice to have running stream water on our property, and the amount of water flowing through there varies. You can see right here where it's built up before, big sand pile and debris, but it'll overflow its banks at some times the whole way down through. Here are some more trees coming from the other side of the creek that I don't want to stand under too long, but for a few minutes to show you this hole. Something's living in there. That is another good sized tree. It's a big tall one. Look at the growth on this tree. So coming down from this small limb into all this and then growing back upwards. We'll see if this is a decent crossing area. Back to the four-wheeler sitting there. So one of the things that I don't take enough time to do is just come out and explore in the woods on nice days like today. It's still a little chilly today, but it's nice to just take a walk through the woods here. Kind of wanted to see the trees that were damaged by the storms, but also just explore the woods. This used to be one of my crossing areas to get to the other side of the creek. You can see we've got a couple limbs down, and looks like it's pretty deep to try to cross through there right now. But you can see a fresh cherry tree. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera. Fresh cherry tree across right there. Quite a few limbs down, but just run those over. Call this the pine tree path because of all those little strangely placed pine trees along the path. My empty IBC totes from this winter. Here's another cherry tree that came down on the upper side of the driveway. See, it got all twisted up and splintered. But that'll be future firewood. We've said in previous videos, we don't cut down any trees just for firewood. They just get naturally provided to us. And this is an instance of that. All these trees that have come down in this windstorm, that will be our future firewood. Here's another tree that came down in the windstorm. Broke off right at the root. Here's two nice hickories that got cut down during the right-of-way clearing process. Those will be future firewood. Here's one of our bridges that does cross the creek. It's on top of some old telephone poles. say that area to the right to cross through here is deeper than you would think. Go ahead and use four-wheel drive and cross here in the upper area. There is no keeping this four-wheeler clean, that's for sure. With the amount of springs and cricks that we cross. Still have this big oak to work on that fell down previously. This tree came down during the storm and Mom and Dad already cleared it off the path. Quite the thoroughfare worn here. It's almost like it's been brushed off. You can see quite the muddy path down through that section of right away. That's a fun area if you want to get muddy. See, these trees right here are scored, ready to come down at any time. Here's that tree I can see from the distance. Anytime you see all these limbs, there you can see a big cherry tree down there. Actually, that might be an oak. Get under it quickly here. Although it's hung up so well, I don't know that it would come down anytime soon. Got off to take a picture of those trees. It's actually two trees down. This one is an oak, and there's another oak just to the side of it there. Both of them came down in the wind. Someone has really been going through here on their machines. You can see it's a muddy mess. And there's another cherry tree down up there. Really don't want to get super muddy. I don't know, it's starting to get dark, you may not be able to see, but there's an old road up through there. We used to call the toilet road because there's an old toilet back there in the middle of the woods for no reason. Down through that right away, all through the mud. here. So thanks for watching just a little exploring the woods video today. If you like videos like this, please give us a thumbs up. Leave those comments down below. We'll catch you on the next one. Going down the steep hill. All this stuff that greened up first, I forget what that's called, but that is an invasive species. We would like to get rid of it, and you can see how fast it grows. Spreads. Against the skyline there, you can see another tree that's leaning. Down across my path here. As a teenager, I had a Honda 185 ATC three-wheeler. I think the paths were kept pretty clear back then. I did a lot of riding in my after-school hours. I just enjoyed being outside. Some flowers. Planted those at our old cabin. We used to, when we were kids, as mom and dad were building their house, we would play up here in the woods. That was the old cabin.